Do this. Welcome back. Long time. Haven't really seen any movies lately. And we decided to come back with Crimson Peak. What do you want, phone? Is this important? This better be important. This better be goddamn important to be interrupting birthday in the car. It's not important. Damn you, phone.
Are you not a professional? We are filming right now. You turn on your phone?
Rush hour credits. Okay, so, this is not a horror movie. Don't go in with the expectation that this movie is going to be a scary movie. There's
Don't exist.
There's like 4 jump scares.
No, there's more than that.
Then 5. Look,
There were jump scares?
there are ghosts in this movie. Did you not hear the orchestra pit screaming?
Okay, but that was
That's
not
the sign of a jump scare. The orchestra pit goes.
No, the part that got me was like the one where she like opens up the
cabinet,
door.
and then all of a sudden the dude's like, occupy!
Yeah.
It closes the door.
and you're just sort of like, well, okay, wish it.
Really? Because I heard people just laughing at that one.
Oh no, like I jumped and then I just started cracking up because it was just sort of like, what the fuck? Like,
But what about Boomer?
There are, Boomer's dead. Yeah, trigger warning, dead dog. Neck
Assholes.
snap. Seriously.
dumb
Um,
bitch, man.
Oh,
So-
but towards the end of the movie, like, total badass moment by the lead lady, whatever her name was. Who played Edith?
I do not know, but yeah, she
I did not recognize her
Um,
from anything.
I swear to God I know her.
Mia, she was in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh,
And
that explains.
She was also a Jane Eyre. She did some really nice period movies.
Wow. Okay, so Alice in Wonderland's problem was not her. Okay,
No.
she was terrible in Alice in Wonderland.
But I
You talking
think a
about the
lot of
live
that
action
had
movie? Yes.
to do
That came out, like,
that
6
had
years
to do
ago?
a lot with I think the writing, and she was kind of confined a little bit in the script.
By the directing.
that
yeah.
entire
Yeah.
movie was a piece of garbage.
Oh my God, it was so
you know what?
terrible.
I think that it had so much potential that it was just
No, there was no potential. From a base scripting level, it was flawed. Anyway, back to Crimson Peak. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick spoiler summary here. It's a gothic romance. The first third of the movie doesn't even take place at the eponymous house. But oh my God, is that house awesome. And if you are a sucker for period anything, this movie is like visual crack. This is some of the best costuming and set design I have ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the house is, like-
wonderful costuming and just...
And they got a
I
lot-
can only hope on-site
I
locations
would
because
love
that
to know
mansion
what their
just looked
budget
amazing.
was for this.
Uh,
They must have had a good one.
It was quite a big budget, not as big as Pacific Rim, because Guillermo del Toro also did that movie.
Oh, yeah, the same director from Pacific Rim.
And
Woo.
Hellboy, and Pan's Labyrinth.
okay, but like the house.
Literally
is
one of the
just
only
this-
2 reasons I went to see this.
The other one being Tom Hiddleston, who you didn't even know was in it.
Yeah, you didn't
No,
even-
the other one
you
being
were-
I was
oh
getting
my
to see
God.
this for free.
Okay, fine.
Well,
Okay, but so going from that, it gets a little weird towards the end, like not unbearably weird, but I gotta say that last 20 minutes was like just we're careening towards that ending and we will not stop. This ending is happening.
Until I kill you or you kill me.
I heard you the first time. But, okay, so now going into spoiler territory. So, like, the first third of the movie is just in, like, New York, like, late 1800s.
It was a lot
They
of setup
were not
that
in
they
New
had to
York.
do.
No,
It
they were
was-
in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah,
Then why did they say there's a train leaving for New York?
New York.
If
City.
they were in New York.
Buffalo, New York State. New York is also a city. People actually tend to
Either
make
I
that-
zoned out at that part or they were...
You zoned out at a lot of parts, and to be fair, the only reason I knew we were in Buffalo, New York is because there was a caption. Like, way at the fucking beginning of the movie.
So when I was still writing, basically.
Yes, when you were still writing. Then you found out Tom Hiddleston was it, and you kind of put the writing down.
Look, I think he's an awesome actor. And
I actually
call homo if you want on this. He actually looks really good.
He looks amazing in like the period getup.
He's hot.
I mean, I've never understood why people think he's hot, but I certainly don't see any reason to think he's unattractive.
There's definitely a charm to him.
Oh, you know, the guy
Straight
is
or not, you cannot
dripping.
deny.
He's dripping with actor charisma. Can't even
Sean Connery!
can't even fucking help himself. But so like the first third of the movie is just Edith like trying to get her novel published, and the rest of polite society being bitches about it.
Well, no, that's not what I saw. Okay, what I saw is, yes, she was kind of fighting against kind of the typecasting of women back then, but she at that point didn't have any kind of interest in social life.
I
She
thought
didn't
that
give
was
a
going to be
shit.
like some kind of subplot. They brought it up like
Well,
twice.
They
The
did,
whole
and I
pl-
thought
the
that
whole
it
book
had
thing?
really potential for that, but then she all of a sudden she meets this guy and Tom Hiddleston plays, and she's like,
And he
then
go-
all of a sudden she's like into being social and she wants to go.
well,
to these
more
places
more
with
like
him.
she wants to go with him,
and he just happens to be going to
Yeah.
this place.
And and we're introduced to Tom Hiddleston. His name was Thomas, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually,
That
isn't
helps.
weird?
That helps us, because I just gonna
It
keep
helps
going.
you, who's someone who can never remember names.
And what was his sister's name? Lilith,
Close.
No.
Lucille,
There you go.
Yeah, I think it was-
Lucille. Okay, so we
What is it with you and remembering names?
just bad
It's
at it.
because we're more focused on their acting, not their names.
So we are introduced to his sister playing the piano, and from like scene 1, she's off.
She just like exudes
Ominous.
this like
Yeah,
creepy,
like,
like
she
there's
doesn't go-
something weird about
She
her.
doesn't go full ominous right away, but even from the beginning, you're like, this is a little off.
Did you guys notice the like scar on her lip?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like, really wanted
Well,
to
she
know
was
if they were-
beaten heavily as a child.
Well, and see that's really the only thing that, but like,
See, that's
I don't
just
know,
attention
just-
to detail.
I don't know, just like I
And
felt
she
like
spent
there
some
could have
time in
been
an
some-
insane asylum, which were not good places to be in that time period. Not at all. It's a
How the
good thing
fuck
her
did she
brother
get out?
her brother
Her
came for
brother-
her.
Oh.
That was the crazy thing about insane asylums back then. If your family put you away, you would never get out. Ever. Because your family doesn't want to get you out. It was
But
basically...
if someone else did it, you're like,
Yeah, if you
okay,
were put in
well.
prison and your family came for you, or insane person prison and your family came for you, then yeah, the state would just be like, oh, you want to take care of them? Knock yourself out.
Have at it, you know. Just don't let them do this. this,
we're
this,
tired
this.
of feeding them.
Really. I don't know. All in all, I did think that it had a couple plot holes. I think.
What,
Like,
apart from the ghosts?
yeah, I mean, I feel like okay. So at first, like, I didn't realize that all of the ghosts were separate.
Really?
Well, no, because like.
Because each one was kind of distinguished by the way they died. Like, one was wandering
Well,
around with a
okay.
goddamn cleaver in its head.
But yeah, that one
The
I
one that
one I
reached through the
completely
door.
got. That
I
one
really
understood,
liked the
and one with
animation
him-
on the ghosts.
It kind of had that Evil Dead sort of animation to it.
Zombie.
No, it didn't have the Evil Dead animation.
No. And like the last two ghosts, the one with the cleaver in its head, and then the one with like the eyeball.
You haven't seen Evil Dead, have you?
No, but I saw like some of the.
No, Evil Dead was practical effects.
Oh,
The
really?
Deadites were like... The Evil Dead, the first two were made in the 80s, okay? They didn't really have CGI. And they didn't have the budget for that either.
But they become horribly irrelevant once one watches Army of Darkness.
Yes, Army of Darkness is, like, glorious.
But regardless, I think that.
But it's a very neat... It's an interesting animation because they're solid and fluid and smoky all at the same time.
It's like,
And they shamble
kinda-
like zombies.
What they
Yeah.
did, and now like the mother, in the beginning.
Yeah, she
had
was
that
very
skeleton.
Yeah, she was very ethereal.
Yeah, just
But she was like creepy.
stand there
ethereal.
at the end of the hall,
Daughter,
staring
I've
right
come,
at your daughter,
I've
and then
come
just
to
like,
give you a warning.
Give
like,
give the
hug.
Jesus Christ, Ghost Mom! Trying to give me a heart attack.
It's,
I
you
just-
know,
I-
it was all well and
I'm
good
sorry,
until
like
she,
even
like,
if that
lays her
was meant
hand
to be
on-
scary, it's just like so, especially for
weird.
someone like me who's just, it was just hilarious. Like, it's such a.
But the ghosts
It
are
was
the
just
ghosts
weird.
are really, I don't even want to call them a plot device because frankly, even without the ghostly warnings, she would have figured something was up anyway.
She probably would have died by the time she found out, though.
Yeah, they were okay. So
Ghosts
after
are not known
slamming
for being very helpful. They're
yeah,
too cryptic.
her mom comes in when she's like 6 and is like, "Beware the Crimson Peak," and then she doesn't find out it's called the Crimson Peak until she's like lived there for several days, and I'm like, "Geez, Mom, you could have like given it its other name, so I could have remembered the warning."
Better idea. How the hell did the mom know what it was called?
Yeah, exactly. It's all
That was like ghost fortune telling
it's-
into the future.
Yeah, it's terrible foreshadowing, Mother. Try again next time. But so like the first third of the movie is
Unless
her dad is like, "No, don't get seduced by Thomas. I don't like him. There's something off
I got an
about
idea
him."
on that. The ghosts that the people had killed knew they were going after Edith, so they told her mom's ghost, and her mom's ghost like, "Yeah, I'll go warn her about this shit."
But they were still like children then too.
Yeah, the wife.
I guess her mom ghost was unstuck in time and was just
Okay,
like,
let's put it like this then. Did any other part of that movie
Wibbly-wobbly-
make that much sense?
wibbly wobbly timey wimey nonsense. No Doctor Who
then.
fans in the car?
No.
I've only seen Christopher Eccleston.
So you haven't seen the wibbly wobbly timey wimey bits line. Anyway,
No, but I'm gonna assume that has something to do with David Tennant.
yes, actually, it was in
Because
one
I
of
don't
the.
think that doesn't sound like something Matt Smith will say.
It was in one of the better episodes of basically all of Doctor Who. It was the one with the weeping angels. Anyway,
Don't
going
believe.
back to the plot. So her dad is like, "No, don't go with him," and then her dad gets killed really fucking brutally. Like, slamming face again and again into porcelain sink.
They even break the sink, which is the most interesting.
Yeah, and like, there's like
Part of his head caved in.
Yeah, there was a
good
giant
animation on that, by the way.
fuck off hole in the side of his head, and up to that point, this movie had been, kind of creepy with the ghosts, and sort of a somewhat sinister seduction. But all of a sudden, we're in full-on murder mystery.
I haven't seen something that bloody in a movie murder in a long time.
No, this is a hard R.
Did
Hard
you see
R.
like how convenient the drain was placed though? Because like once he started bleeding, it all just sort of went down the drain.
Fatality.
Very nice and easy.
Fatality. So her dad's dead, and she goes back to England with Thomas and his sister. And their plan is to kill her and take her father's inheritance so they can build a drill bucket scoopy machine so they can mine the red clay.
Some kind of like conveyor excavating.
So they
thing.
can mine the red clay under their like familial estate. By the way, red clay not really a thing, at least not like in this
Not
movie.
like blood red. I mean,
No.
like I'm pretty sure red clay.
Like,
is
Yeah, the
more of
whole
like
reason
a
the place was called Crimson
terracotta
Peak is because
color?
when it snowed, the red clay would come up to the
seep into
surface
the
and just
snow.
stain the
Is that
snow.
a thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
I didn't-
It is not a thing.
Okay.
Like,
I was looking
will,
at that.
I will
thinking,
grant
like,
that England
I don't know.
England has some pretty interesting geological like soils,
Yeah.
but red clay like that ain't one of them.
Not like red clay, but
Not
like
that
when
shade,
snow
anyway.
falls on it.
Not
like
really,
if
no.
Clay would like.
No.
See, the thing, snow melts too fast. That's the thing. Like, it doesn't really absorb color well. But anyway, so
Depending on
that's their
region of
plan.
England they were in, it wouldn't have stayed long at all. It rains more than anything.
that was their plan, and this is like the 4th time they've done this. Like, they're on
Like,
wife
how the fuck have they not gotten caught
because
yet?
they always targeted women who had no family left, which means that they were taken to a foreign country in the days before long distance
died, yeah.
communication.
Well, no. What was that one letter for Enola, the Italian girl?
Yeah.
Now, who's that from? Because I
Oh,
didn't actually...
some friend of hers that she left behind.
Oh, because like I wanted to know what was actually in the letter, but I guess it wasn't really important. It
No,
was just
not
important
really.
that she like knew that it wasn't.
Just wait for the director's cut.
This was the director's cut.
What was it?
Guillermo del Toro had to fight to get this version into theaters.
Really?
Yeah. Universal wanted to cut it to a PG-13.
Oh hell no! You can't.
And he
do
was
that.
like, "You guys, we're doing it my way."
The whole ending, like, battle scene is, like, stabby, bloody nonsense. You can't do that in a PG-13.
Yeah, like this entire second half of the movie was bloody.
Pokey, pokey, stabby, stabby.
Pokey, pokey, stabby, stabby. Jesus Christ.
Could you not
no.
stab him?
No,
I do know how
please.
to drive this car. I just don't want to tonight.
Jesus. Stop. No, seriously, man, don't.
Pokey, pokey, stabby, stabby.
Don't.
Isn't that my job on the show?
We're not on the show!
You're on the channel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're on the channel. This is like us. This is not our characters. This is us. Not that there's a hell of a
This
lot
is
of
us, uncut.
uncut, raw, and
But Uncut Jay is boring.
Well, then,
Wow,
Nothing to
Jay.
add to this movie.
then I really liked it. I actually was really digging the opening act romance scenes, even though there was like a lot of heavy foreshadowing that it wasn't going to be all cheery nonsense.
Yeah.
But I felt that the romance was underplayed enough that it wasn't like spitting in your face lovey-dovey nonsense.
You know what? It was tasteful.
It was tastefully done. The intrigue is well built because you're never quite sure why Lucille is so off until much later in the movie. But like some of it seems like she's literally just an odd person who's lonely because all she has left is her brother.
Yeah.
Totally knew where that was going, by the way.
Well, I was
Bullshit.
not expecting incest.
No,
I was
just more expecting just like a weird, twisted like family relationship. I didn't
That's-
really.
No, I was
called
totally expecting
Incest
like-
is wincest. That's this movie.
No, but like I didn't.
It has
I
been
just
a
expected
long
it just
time.
to be a really bad like off family dynamic. I didn't honestly expect them to be kissing like.
No, her hands were down his pants. And
Oh, well,
they-
that I
and,
knew, but, like-
and she got pregnant from him and gave birth to a messed up child.
Well, no, I thought
Which
that,
is
I
kinda
thought-
Remember,
what
remember
happens.
the baby? That was her kid. That was the whole thing she was going about. She never fucked his other three
no,
wives.
I thought that. Oh, because what was that one ghost that was holding the baby?
That was the one that was around when the baby was born and was charged with caretaking the child.
Okay,
Then
so
they killed it
apparently
anyway.
I missed this.
No, it died because it was an incest baby, and
Not all of them survived that well.
and I would, you know what? I hate that I know this, but incest, even between siblings, will not result in significantly higher chances of birth defects unless you're from an ancient English noble family who have a long history of inbreeding with cousins.
Yeah, but don't you
Or
have to build up
live
that
in the-
history first?
Hillbilly.
Yeah,
any kind of
and they're in the 1800s, and they're an old English money family. They've got that build up.
Oh boy. No wonder
So-
she went to an insane asylum.
Well, she also
Bitch
went
was
to
born
an
crazy.
She also went to an insane asylum because her mother was awful, apparently,
No,
and
I
she
think
killed her.
She killed her mother.
With a cleaver!
Big cleaver. Why the fuck did they even have
Holy
that?
shit!
That's
like,
more.
that cleaver was almost as big as like.
That's not a house cleaver. That is a butcher cleaver.
Why do they have it?
I don't know. And
That was like their early
but the set
mining
design
days.
in the house was just beautiful. The architecture was amazing. They had this hole in the ceiling that's constantly disgorging like snow or leaves, which
The
makes
east
no god.
winds, it's basically
That's
like
what
a
I-
monster
you know what, I
howl.
appreciate
throughout the
it.
whole house.
Yeah,
But I didn't quite understand
it
it.
made no goddamn sense, but it was so cool looking. And the walls were like absorbing the red clay, so like
It looked like it
The
was
walls
bleeding.
are bleeding.
the walls were bleeding. It was so
Refill your sanity meter.
it was so cool looking.
There was also like
awesome.
this point where there were all these moths, and they were just sort of just
Yeah, there was
chilling out. It was kinda
a
weird.
big
like,
theme of insects in this movie.
now I'm like I don't
The
know. if
butterflies,
there's a
the
well,
ants,
the
the
butterflies
moths.
and the ants make sense, but I don't understand the moths. I feel stupid.
I-
I've never
you
heard
know what?
of
It
a moth
wa-
that big.
It was a oh yeah, totally. There's ones that are like this big,
That would probably freak me out if I saw one that was bigger than my hands.
but
Moths are completely harmless. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, I know this, but the idea that there's like a huge moth. That
but
could be, like,
yeah,
I can't wait to
it
see what
kind
she
of
would
reminded
do
me
with a Brazilian
like
wandering spider.
I could tell the director and the writer were going for something with the bugs because it was too prevalent to not like imply something.
Well, and
but
in
I
the
didn't
beginning,
get it.
in the beginning, Lucille is talking about how
Something about black moths is
beautiful.
all they have.
Yeah, well, she's like, black moths is all we have, and then she was saying how like things that are beautiful and fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, things that are beautiful are always fragile. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. No, but
And then
So
she breaks
she's-
a butterfly's wing and feeds it to a colony of ants.
Well,
which we then get to see
yeah.
like chomp through
it's
the butterfly's
actually
eye.
kind of interesting that they do that. It's a little weird, but like it's interesting that they go so
But
like.
no,
zoomed
like
in
that
on it.
was Lucille explaining the symbolism of a butterfly. I'm talking about why it was a running theme through the movie.
Well, and
I do not get what its thematic run through of the movie
fly,
was.
Well, obviously, I mean the butterfly definitely stood
No, but
for
see
all
what?
the people.
No, that's not what I'm
talking.
talking about. I'm not talking about the individual bugs. The individual bugs all have their individual symbolism. I'm talking about the constant presence of bugs.
I don't know. Maybe it was
I
just to
couldn't
add
figure it
to
out.
the mood of like how like kind of dark and creepy.
I couldn't figure it out. I mean, what was it? I watched Inherent Vice, and this one detective guy is constantly eating chocolate bananas, and the camera like lingers on him working on that chocolate banana, and I'm like, okay, the director is clearly trying to make me think fellatio. Why is the director trying to make me think fellatio? What is the fucking point of lingering on this?
I'm
And
hungry.
I couldn't. I could never
Wow.
figure it out.
Maybe random.
But
He's talking about chocolate bananas, and I haven't eaten since 3 o'clock this afternoon.
you should really try eating food more often. It's not overrated.
Kind of busy. A lot.
But no, it's a really solid movie, and that third act, like stab-a-thon, is like nuts. Like one of Edith's friends from America shows up and is like, "I'm getting you out of here," and then he gets stabbed in the armpit and starts gushing blood. And I'm like, "Wow, they did their research. There is totally a vein like right in the armpit area. That's why it sweats so much, because a major artery is running through there. A lot of body heat transfer."
Kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that neat? And that's why he was spurting so much blood.
You're the doctor. Show me where to put this, or she will kill you.
Yeah, like that was, I thought, very interesting that Thomas wasn't so much like sorry that he had killed people. He was just like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
But you know what? I think that there was sort of that underlying
was-
feeling of like
was bored.
He didn't want to do it.
He was
didn't-
sorry that he brought Edith into it, and I'm sure he wished he hadn't let it go for so long, but he wasn't like sad that he murdered people. He was just sad that like
sad that it got so far. Like,
out of
that-
hand, yeah.
I think that like
Because
originally.
Lucille was totally pushing him on.
Well, yeah, and like she wore the pants in the family, but like
Nah.
well,
Metaphor.
no, but like she could just kill all the time. Like he, I think, actually had some sort of. I don't want to say he had like a set of morals with this, but like
He hesitated.
yeah, and he was just more like, well, I think at first he went along with it because it was the only way that he could see that their family could survive. And then he just goes and fucks up and he falls in love with this. He falls in love with Edith, and it's like, well, shit. I don't
Which
really
is a
wanna
real
kill
shame
her.
because they had good chemistry, actually.
They actually, yeah, they looked good together, too. It was like an interesting light
Uh,
and dark. kind
But
of-
yeah, so Edith and Lucille end up in like a knife fight in the snow. And like
Of
Edith.
all the fucking
That was
places.
kind of like more a miniature machete and meat cleaver.
Yeah, no, Edith picked like threw the knife drawer on the floor and is like, little knife, ooh, this one'll do. And it's like a giant carving
She
knife.
fucking cuts through the other girl's fingers, too.
Yeah.
She's just like,
You will let go of this elevator. You will let go of this elevator door, ///. No, it was so satisfying when Lucille's like, you will
What I
son-
don't get is when she slammed the gate open and pinned Lucille's arm to the door. Why not take that, put it in her neck, and end that shit there? No,
Well,
the director
'cause
wanted
she was
badass
kind of
fight at the
moving
end.
still. It wasn't like Lucille was just
Yeah,
like
it's not like
staying still.
Lucille
She was pinned to the
It's
wall.
not like Lucille was just gonna let her do that.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
It ends with a giant shovel to the head with a big neck snap and blood
Oh.
spurt.
All the things
Oh.
you could have killed her with. and
All
it's
the
a
blood in
fucking
this movie.
shovel.
Seriously.
It was just
What
Ah.
is called Crimson Peak.
it was
Seriously.
it was
It was satisfying.
cathartic by the end. And okay, like this movie, I can't recommend it for everyone because there's some weird shit going on here, and if like gothic romance does nothing for you, like period dramas and if all that stuff just sounds like a chore to you, you will hate this movie. But I couldn't stop watching. This movie was just so engaging.
I thought it was good.
And I really want it to make more money. It's not making a lot of money. But then again, why the hell did they release it against Goosebumps and a Steven Spielberg movie that just came out? Like, there's a lot of big movies in theaters right now.
Well, you know what? I think they were trying to go for the time, like the Halloween era.
I still say that they very poorly timed when to release this movie.
I will not go see Goosebumps.
Well, too bad.
Are we going to go see that?
I actively refuse to ever see
Steven
that
wants
movie.
to see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm down. I'm gonna go.
Maybe I'll send you two without me.
Why? You don't want to see it?
That wasn't a Goosebumps child. That was Are You Afraid of the Dark kid.
I wasn't either. I
I've
just refused to
read all
watch
the
Jack Black do
Goosebumps
anything.
books.
Jack Black was excellent in School of Rock. Jack Black was
No.
excellent in Be Kind, Rewind. Jack
No.
Black was excellent in Kung Fu Panda.
He doesn't
Nah.
know everything.
Supporting cast saved him. He's a
What?
horrible actor and a mediocre musician at best.
So we go through previews.
Yes, let's. Final recommendations. Jay, what final recommendation?
See it if there's nothing else that casts your interest. Like, if you really want to go see a movie, but there's nothing out there that you really want to see, go ahead. Because,
It's
you know,
neat. It's neat. And
what's
it's
his name? The director?
Guillermo del Toro.
That guy.
He did Pacific Rim.
The dude who did Pacific Rim. Yes, for the 5th time. I already know that. Just don't remember his name or how to pronounce it. I don't speak Puerto Rican.
It's
It's not Puerto Rican.
it is actually Hispanic.
Well, I knew it was Hispanic.
I think he's
when I
Mexican,
seen it,
but-
yeah.
Don't care.
But
It's not. It's far from the best and it's far from the worst. It's okay. I was in and out the whole time, but it managed to keep my interest for a while. Tom Hiddleston was amazing. And on the plus side, we got to see his ass.
yeah.
Oh my god, going on and on about his fucking ass. Really?
Were you not looking when it was on screen?
I actually thought it was pretty funny that in the sex scene, she's like fighting her giant dress.
Like, why did they take that off?
because that was the time period.
Yeah,
But,
seriously.
Lil?
I would definitely see it. I say go for it. If you are looking for something different, something that's not really, I guess, what you would ordinarily see, you might
If you're a
appreciate it.
sucker for well-made movies, I can't think of a movie that I've seen this year, aside from
That's
Mad Max,
better.
that was more well-made.
Oh
like,
my god, will you
I'm
stop
not
sucking
talking
that
about.
movie's
I'm
dick?
not talking about quality of like entertainment. I'm talking about quality of filmmaking. There's excellent cuts, transitions, set design, acting. It's all really well put together. Now, from a story perspective, it's either gonna be your thing or it's just kind of gonna fly over your head. It's a niche market.
It took a while to
But I
pick up
thought it
there.
was good. You know what?
Oh, it's an excellently well-made movie. In terms of entertainment, that mileage may vary. Okay, so a lot of superhero the previews had nothing fucking to do with this movie. We start with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
So
I'm
hate
not
that
really,
title. God.
Like, gonna.
What a fucking stupid title! Like, I will never stop harping on
You
this.
don't
because-
need Dawn of Justice. Just put Batman versus Superman and people will be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get why they felt Dawn of Justice. I mean, yes, it's a Justice League prequel, but the audience doesn't need to know that in the title.
Yeah, well, technically the Justice League didn't start until like 10 years after Batman and Superman's like, hey, we're best friends now.
And I am really not okay with Wonder Woman's first appearance in a major motion picture being not her own movie. Really not okay
I'm
with
still
that.
really not okay with who they got to play her.
You know what?
Who did they get to play her?
They
A
got
model.
They got some model.
Not an
Oh,
actor.
really?
I think she was in some of the Fast and Furious movies, but that's about it.
Oh.
They should have gotten someone from the MMA ring. Like, there's a lot of good MMA women fighters out there, and that's what you need to be Wonder Woman. You need to have a commanding battle presence. Because, yeah, she's always been stacked, but more so than that, she has been a warrior since inception.
Which is what the entire point of her character is. And honestly, there's really no other place to look for appropriate actor, but there's so few to choose from out of that field, though.
Yeah, I mean, no, you couldn't even go with Emily Blunt from.
No, she's too skinny, too like little.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm willing to give her a chance, but I still would not. She would not have been my first pick were I the casting people. And as for the rest, and Cyborg's gonna be in the movie, and he hasn't even been in the fucking. Oh no, it was Aquaman. Aquaman's gonna be in the movie, and I'm just like,
Where are you getting Cyborg?
Cyborg is major
Teen
member.
Titans.
No, he's
I know who he
Justice
is.
League.
I'm trying to see where he got Cyborg confused with Aquaman.
All right, so after Batman v Superman, which looks like a terrible superhero movie, we go straight to Deadpool, which
Deadpool!
looks like a
Which-
fucking awesome superhero
Absolutely.
movie.
He's not
I'm going to be going
good
to see
superhero.
that.
Stop calling it a superhero movie.
He's okay. He is super powered, and he is occasionally, when he feels like it, a hero.
When he feels like it.
But I'm a little worried that they're gonna make him too bro douchey because Deadpool is more than that. But what I've seen so far is really fucking funny. Ryan Reynolds, I can't think who else you would get to play it.
He's literally the only person in the world who could pull this off.
And frankly, Fox can do superhero movies that are fun and irreverent.
Hey, they got Days of Future Past right, even though there was only a few nitpicks at that one.
What about First Class?
I thought First Class.
I
was
liked
nice.
First Class, but most of my entertainment came from Kevin Bacon. But then
Kevin
again, I'm a
Bacon.
big fan of Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon's funny. But Deadpool looks like hilarious. It looks like it's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy for the DC universe. It's going to be like this offshoot thing. No, wait, Fox isn't DC. Deadpool's Marvel. But it looks like it's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy for Fox superhero movies. Shut up, phone. Okay, then we had Vin Diesel in The Witch Hunter.
I don't know about that
Alongside
one. It could be
the
really
guy who
good,
played
or it's
Alfred.
So cheesy.
You know, he has been in movies since before Batman, okay?
Oops, no, he is my favorite Alfred out of any Batman I've ever seen.
I think he's the one that fits Alfred the most.
Really?
Like, even more than the animated series
Yeah.
Alfred.
I was going to say, I really liked the animated series, Alfred.
The only reason I keep calling him Alfred is because I can't remember the actor name.
Actually,
I'm not going to pretend I remember it off the top of my head either. I just know he's been in other movies.
He was in Kingsman.
Sir
Yeah.
Francis.
No,
No.
he's not Sir anything. He was in
Should
He was in Jaws 4.
What?
Not even fucking kidding.
Really?
He was fucking in that.
Who was he in that movie?
What was that movie called?
Did you see Jaws 4?
Which one was Jaws 4?
The Revenge.
The one that shouldn't exist.
You mean all of them after the first one? Yes.
Also, yes.
He was
But-
in that magic movie that we saw. What was it called?
That doesn't narrow it down.
The one where the four magicians in Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah,
I know
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about, and I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what that's called either.
And that's just bugging
Now
the
you
hell
see
out of
me.
you.
Now You See Me, yeah. That was okay.
I actually like that movie a lot.
Witch Hunter,
I don't know if I'm
I don't
really,
know.
like-
Vin Diesel, his record of headlining things that aren't Fast and the Furious is actually pretty lame. Like, he headlined Triple X once, and that movie made a shit ton of money, but noteworthy, didn't really get a lot of sequels. Pitch Black was
Mostly because State of the Union was just a massive failure.
Pitch Black was good, but then he followed up with Chronicles of Riddick, which was just a mess. And so, like, I don't know. Like, his performance is all over the place when it comes to reliability. But,
Yeah.
hey, he's a massive nerd, so... Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
so weird to say, but he totally is. And so, I don't know.
He really
He
wants
might-
he really wants someone to make a D&D movie so he can be in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, it's that kind of, like, high fantasy shit, so... He'll probably put his all into it, and granted, his all isn't that different from him not trying.
And what's really weird about that is even though I don't conform to the jock and nerd stereotypes at all, or even bother to pay attention to them, considering the first thing I ever saw Vin Diesel in was Fast and the Furious, just to find out he is a colossal nerd who
It's so off.
borderline worships D&D is just, it's just so funny.
It's so incongruous. Okay, next we had Scouts versus Zombies, which looks fucking terrible.
It's a stupid movie designed to entertain. It's like
Yeah, and I like to hold my comedies to a higher standard.
The
Oh, I didn't
Scouts
say
Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse.
Just, okay, look.
I mean, it's,
Look, movies.
That is a good dollar theater movie.
Comedic Zombies has been done. Comedic Zombies was done in Shaun of the Dead, in a romantic comedy where they very cleverly skewered zombie tropes while still adhering to them. And then we had Zombieland, which was a much more American style, hey, we're just gonna have fucking fun with zombies movie. Those were
With
awesome.
Bill
Welcome to
Murray.
America.
Yeah, those were awesome. What else are you gonna do with zombies? They're not that funny.
They're just gonna beat that horse until it's
Like-
really dead.
You know what? I saw zombie strippers, which was only funny because it was so ridiculous that the guy owning the strip club would be totally okay with his strippers eating his customers as long as he got paid first. And there was like and then there was like a 10-minute vignette at the beginning of the movie which was all about like making fun of President Bush's policies, and then that bit came back at the end. The movie was weird, okay? But it wasn't funny because of zombies. It was funny because of stupid fucking decisions made in relation to zombies. Zombies are not inherently funny, okay? And Scouts vs. Zombies doesn't look like it's bringing anything remotely interesting to the table.
Yeah, it's just excuse me.
Sorry, I got really impassioned about that one because it looks fucking stupid and I just don't want it to exist.
I'm just gonna hold my tongue on this one because my opinion is gonna be a lot louder and more vulgar than his.
And we don't have time for that. Alright, and last, weird movie, Krampus.
That is gonna be good, and we have to go see that.
That I might actually have an
It
interest in
has
seeing.
been a long time since I've seen anything even remotely
This
like
is Nightmare
a
Before
a
Christmas.
Santa Claus horror movie.
It's gonna be amazing.
It's a Santa Claus horror movie where like the reindeer and the elves are evil, and it's not Santa Claus, it's Krampus, like evil Santa
This
Claus.
is
It's
the
funny 'cause
dark
you get,
version of
like,
Nightmare
the
Before Christmas.
Like you get the impression in the beginning that it's just gonna be
Yeah,
like
it's-
some satire, like about
It's gonna be
a family
some
that hates
lame.
each other.
It's gonna be some lame Christmas movie that they actually bothered to bring to theaters this time. But no, like halfway through the trailer, it turns into I can't even decide if it's supposed to be a comedy horror movie or a straight up horror movie. But
Those exist.
Yeah. actually.
comedy horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And I would also say Cabin in the Woods, kind of. Not that funny, but it's pretty funny if you're really familiar with the teen slasher genre.
It has good potential.
Those movies
and I
need to stop
appreciate
being
that.
a thing.
Oh, teen slashers, I don't ever want them to go away, but I'm also understanding that teen slashers are terrible. Like, almost to a... Almost
I don't
all
even
of them.
consider
To a
that
fault.
junk films. That's just...
No, they're all junk food. They're all junk food.
I don't even consider them that. They just need to not exist.
Well, then you aren't enjoying them properly. And to be fair, it takes a certain mindset to enjoy
then again,
them.
I just find slasher films in any form boring as hell.
But see, that's the thing. It's like you're supposed to go in and it's like, oh man, look at all these stupid teenagers. Yeah, kill him, Jason Voorhees, kill him! That's literally the engagement. Literally. That's how you're supposed to enjoy them. If you're not enjoying them that way, you're doing it wrong. So anyway, Krampus, Santa Claus monster. I want to see that.
Just think some sort of like kind of devil.
Like, what was it? Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 was the last Santa Claus horror movie, and that was like the mid-'80s. It has been a long time since that well's been dug. So, yeah, go for it. I want to see what they do with that
I like
shit.
the shot in the trailer where the little girl just stops, stares at the roof of the house, and there's this giant
Thing with,
shadow
like,
of a figure with massive fucking horns staring at her.
Or was it tusks? We don't know. It's fucking weird.
It was coming out of its head.
Could be tusks, could be horns.
It
Who
looked
knows?
Who knows when it comes to these things?
Yeah, I'm just kind of reminded of the episode of American Dad where Santa Claus attacks them.
That
But-
awesome music, that Carol of the Bells, where you think it's a Christmas jingle, and then all of a sudden metal guitar. I'm coming for you, Smiths!
Alright, it's been
That was
fun.
a good episode.
It's been good to be back in the car. But we're gonna go home now. Bye.
See ya.